Hi guys, this is Joe again with formerly Fat Joe, and this episode number 3, I want to talk about hunger sensation. Now, this is something that I did a lot of research on before I got my sleeve gastrectomy, and it's really, I have to say, it is really what drew me to this surgery. More than likely, my next episode will be about eating after surgery. But I want to make a differentiation here between eating and hunger. The thing that I really want to touch on in this episode is the, shall we say, both the psychological and the habitual part of hunger, and really what what that was like for me first, before the surgery, and then after the surgery. So let me just jump right in here, okay? So when we're talking about the hunger sensation that I dealt with before surgery, I think the best way to talk about it is actually from something that I can honestly say I don't know much about, and that is drug or alcohol addiction, okay? Now, I've got to tell you, I've heard a lot of folks talk about drug addiction, talk about alcohol addiction. And the thing that I have heard, I should say, the most, is that essentially it is a hole that a person is trying to fill in their life, a hole in their heart that they need to fill. And I have to tell you, first of all, I have, just so we understand, guys, I have no experience with drugs. Never used them, never have, hopefully never will. Don't think that's going to be an issue. With alcohol, I'm a social drinker, I guess is what you'd call it. I've, been drunk a handful of times, just when I always say drunk, not blackout drunk, but just good and tipsy. I can honestly tell you it has no attraction to me. If the doctor came to me and said, tomorrow, Joe, you can never touch alcohol ever again, I wouldn't be that terribly upset. And so I have to say, when people talk about having, this deep and agonizing emptiness in their soul that, let's say alcohol fills, I have to be honest, I just go, I have no concept of what that is. But, when I consider the hunger that I had previously, before surgery, maybe that is similar. Now, I'm not saying it's the same, just so that we're clear, I'm not saying it is the same. But boy, it seemed like that at times. I had this incredible hunger that would make me just do stupid things. This hunger sensation was so powerful that it would destroy any kind of diet I was on. Well, let's put it this way, folks. At pre-surgery, I was 405 pounds, and there was such a sensation for me that I would swear that my body was going to die. And I honestly am I'm telling you the truth. There was this feeling that if I didn't eat something soon, that my body was going to, seriously go go into shock almost. Okay? And that was tough. That was really tough to deal with. I apologize about how crude this sounds. It really does. It's a hunger so severe that, as we would say, you could eat the back end out of a dead rhinoceros. It was just, I don't care what kind of food it is, I'm just going to shove it in my mouth. And so, first of all, you had this incredible physical hunger. And like I said, just a pain in your gut that hurts so dang bad. And really it came down to, it didn't matter what you ate, you just had to put something in your stomach. Here's something kind of funny. In the run-up to my sleeve gastrectomy, I had several very nice conversations with my nutritionist. And at one point, I made a comment to her that, gee, Did the doctors ever consider that maybe hunger for one person is not the same as hunger for another person? She goes, that's only been a thing for about the last 5 years. And she goes, you want to hear something really infuriating, is that for many years, the doctors simply looked at it as, no. Everybody's hunger is the same. You just think it's different. And she goes, no, we're just in the last couple of years, we've really been trying to, shall we say, quantify just how hungry people are. And I've got to tell you, I don't know what ticks me off more, knowing that I had a hunger different than everybody else, or knowing that the doctors for years and years and years never considered that two different people could have two different sensations of hunger. So this issue with hunger, I have to admit, is the closest I ever came, and it's what I would equate, like I said, I can't say it's the exact same, but I would equate it to a drug addict. That I have this serious hole in my life that I'm trying to fill, if you will. Okay, and that came up a couple of different ways. Like a lot of folks, I can't tell you how many diets I've been on. I've been on the Atkins diet, and I've been on other low carb diets, and low carb and low fat diets, and the vegetable only diets, and the this and the that, and I've tried everything. And all I can tell you is the frustrating part with how hunger was prior to surgery is that I would wake up every morning and I would say, today's the day. I'm going to be, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to take my food with me, and I'm going to eat well, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And inevitably, the downfall for me usually was that I would get to work, I'd get working, and next thing you know is I had missed my lunch. And so instead of taking a lunch at say 11:30 or noon, next thing I know is it's 2 o'clock or even 2:30. Well, now all of a sudden, instead of making good decisions, now I make bad decisions, because now I'm hungry, and like I said, the eating the back end out of a dead rhinoceros all of a sudden sounds pretty okay. And so instead of a salad or let me just throw this out there. Instead of a hamburger at, say, a fast food restaurant, which, folks, let's understand something, maybe not the best thing in the world, but a hamburger is okay. Instead, it was 2 Whoppers and a large Diet Coke and an order of fries. And, and like I said, now, sorry, I do want to throw this out there, folks. I was not a sweets lover. I never really have been a sweets lover. I've eaten my share of candy bars, sure, but that usually wasn't what I shoved in my face. It usually was, something savory. Okay, I did eat, bread and potato products a lot. French fries, that kind of stuff. At the same time, they weren't my favorite. However, Diet Coke was definitely a big one. Diet soda. I don't want to just blame the Coke company, but Diet soda was definitely a huge issue. But it was, I'll put it this way. For me, I feel that the biggest downfall was just too much food. It really just came down to too much food. And I'll tell you about that next episode, by the way, when we start talking about food. There's another part of this hunger sensation that I do want to touch on, and that is two parts. First of all, the habit of eating. And by the way, that is the part that does not go away. The habit of eating. That's going to be the tough one, or that is the tough one that I deal with. It's something I do, okay, I know many people are going to agree with me on this one. It's something I do when I'm bored. Okay. Unfortunately, that doesn't change. So that is going to be an issue. But there's also a third part of this, and that is going to be the happiness of eating. And this is really tough. I've got to say, this is a real, not just a lifestyle change, but almost like a family dynamic change and stuff. Especially in my family, good German American family. Whenever we gather, there's food. Okay, and so there's a real connection between happiness and food, and eating and food. Eating and happiness, and it's almost like this. You see this motion here? This motion brings happiness. So that is a really difficult thing to change, okay? But you put all those three things together, the happiness of eating, the habit of eating, and then of course, like I said, that exceptional hunger sensation. And those were the real things that I fought prior to the surgery. And I guess all I can say is, boy, talk about a perfect storm. One of the things I will tell you is there's a lot of things that you hear about shall we say, the super morbidly obese. That I look at, for instance, there's a television show that you guys probably have at least heard of, and by the way, gotta tell you, I encourage you to watch it, especially if you're considering weight loss surgery. My 600-pound life. Okay, what a sad show. It's very sad, and I can tell you that I watched that show, or have watched that show in the past, and I go, I don't do that, and I don't do that, and I don't do that. It's things like drinking an entire 2-liter of cola and eating an entire pizza in one sitting, and I go, I don't do that. I didn't do that before, and I don't do it after surgery, of course. But then again, I go, yeah, I didn't eat an entire pizza, but I would eat half a pizza left to my own devices, I can go down a list of a whole bunch of things that I did prior to surgery, and I go, yeah, I was, for instance, I would drink Diet Cola and go, it's diet, right? It's Diet Cola. Yeah, but I drank Diet Cola at every meal. Well, nearly every meal. Usually not for breakfast, but anyhow, so it's really easy to say, well, I did all the good things. Well, I did some of the good things, but I did a whole lot of bad things too. So, tell you what, let's jump to the after. And here's really where the rubber meets the road, because I'm going to tell you how things changed. And I'm going to go down that exact same list that I had before, and we're going to discuss how things changed. So for me, the biggest change was the hunger sensation is gone. Okay. Now, I have jokingly related it to having your stomach castrated. Okay. And in fact, my doctor heard that. He thought it was hilarious. But that's exactly what it is for my hunger sensation. So one of the things that I found early in my research into a sleeve gastrectomy surgery is that, as I understand it, and again, folks, not a doctor, okay, is that the hormone that creates intense hunger in the human body is created in the bottom of the stomach. And so during the process, when they cut and separate the bottom of the stomach and leave the top as the sleeve, okay, and then remove the bottom of the stomach out through the trocar sites in your abdomen, they have essentially removed the site where that hormone is created. And so essentially the day of your surgery, once that hormone depletes in your body, that hunger sensation is gone. And in fact, I'll tell you this is for myself, after coming out of surgery, I never felt that hunger sensation again. I still have hunger, but it's different. It's like bear with me here, guys, it's a focused hunger. And what I mean by that is I still have a hunger feeling or a hunger sensation, let's put it that way. But here's what I notice is different. I'll give you a great example. I still work, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I still have, a small breakfast in the morning, okay? usually a cup of coffee, and lately it's been like one small breakfast burrito, okay? But guess what? At about 11:15 or 11:30, my stomach goes rumble, rumble a little bit. No, just ever so slightly, rumble, rumble. And actually, I shouldn't even say rumble, rumble, because there's no stomach rumbling or growling or anything like that. But there's just this sense that it's almost like my stomach is telling me, "Hey Joe, I'm down here. You might want to think about eating something about now." But instead of just saying, feed me anything, just grab the nearest thing and shove it down your throat, the sensation is there, but the incredible, can we just call it stupidity, is gone. I still have hunger, but it doesn't have the control over my life. I can honestly say I'm hungry, but not incredibly hungry, so much that I will just make stupid decisions. I'm hungry, but my mind still works clearly. I know, okay, maybe that sounds weird, but my mind works clearly. I can have rational thought where I can drive to even a restaurant, okay, and say, okay, here is a whole bunch of very terrible things to put in my body, and I'm just going to ignore that side of the board, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to select, this diet, this not diet item, but a healthy, reasonable, or healthy and reasonable item that is, let's call it 1/3 the calories that I might have put in my body, prior. And I can just make that decision, just, no problem. And it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me emotionally, is what I'm getting at. Like I said, it's almost like there's this new clarity in my life that exceptional hunger is gone. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So I've got to say, I believe this to be true, what they say about the hunger sensation going away. The hardest thing that I've had to deal with after surgery is actually the habit of continuing to eat. I mentioned during episode number 1 that I found myself, even days after surgery, standing in the kitchen in front of the pantry door. And honestly, that is true. The habit of eating is really going to be the hardest thing that a person's going to deal with. And the last thing I want to talk about is the happiness that comes from eating. I mentioned that before, before the surgery. I come from a family that happiness is getting together and eating. And you know what? That's still there. And what I've found, I just recently went to a family outing, and I found that, guess what, guys? You can still have that happiness. This was actually a shocker for me, is that I can still be there and I can still eat and I can still be happy, but I eat a little differently. Here's the thing, guys. And again, I'll probably cover this during the next episode when I talk about eating after surgery. I can eat nearly every single thing I ate prior. I just eat a very small amount of it. I have to admit, it is something that actually had me very scared. Again, I'll talk about it next episode. Was that, kind of this thing of, what am I going to give up? Well, the reality is I gave up nothing. I pretty much, with a few exceptions, no soda pop, no carbonated drinks. But guess what, guys? I went to that reception and I ate all the same food. But there was a lot of open plate. Let's put it that way. I didn't fill my plate, but I picked out a few things, and I got to tell you what, guys, it was awesome. And I ate probably a quarter or a third of what I would have prior to the surgery. So, could a person tear me apart because, oh my God, you ate barbecued ribs and, macaroni salad and stuff like that, and there were better options there. Absolutely. But guys, the last time I had a full barbecue spread in front of me and ate less than about 500 calories, oh my God, I mean, it never happened. I mean, if I'm going to sit down at a barbecue spread, I'm going to eat 1,500 calories or better. And so that was the difference. Well, that's about it, guys. Like I said, I don't know if this is the same for everybody. I can only speak for myself. But like I said, the hunger sensation is amazing. The difference is just night and day difference. Like I said, still have hunger, but it's a controlled hunger. It's a much different hunger. It's a hunger that says, hey, Joe, you're not stupid. You might want to think about putting something in your stomach about now. And while you're at it, why don't you make it something halfway decent? And I have to say, guys, it's an amazing feeling and it's an amazing change. And I hope that you guys consider it, and I hope that you guys, at the end of the day, I hope you guys have the same experience. Thank you for listening. Please keep an eye out for my next episode. I'm definitely going to make it about eating after surgery. And I really look forward to making that for you guys. If you could, before you leave, click the like and the subscribe button down below. It really helps me out so that I can get some traction here on YouTube. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day.